Welcome to our all-new series, The Carnivore Kitchen, where we will indulge you in amazing meals and delicacies that are none other than carnivore. Where our presenter is none other than Shanna Richardson, owner and operator of the Lion's Share Meal Prep and Catering Company. I'm your host, Dr. Victoria Munoz. You're not going to want to miss this episode. Stay tuned. Sometimes you just want something to put those carnivore ingredients on, such as your meats, your cheeses, or maybe a nice shrimp salad. But carnivores don't eat grains. However, you're not completely without options. Today, Shannon's going to show us how to make carnivore flatbread.
That's right. I'm going to teach you how to make carnivore flatbread using nothing but maybe 2-3 ingredients that you already probably have in your kitchen if you're carnivore. So let's get started. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to make some flatbread today. We've got a couple of ingredients. We have cottage cheese, just the small curd right now. Right here, I'm just using a basic any day, any kind. This happens to be the Kroger brand. And this is about, I want to say 16 ounces or about 2 cups. And then I've got 2 eggs right here, whole eggs. I've got a third of a cup of Parmesan cheese. And then of course I've got my herbs of choice. And then you'll also need a blender, something to scrape it down with, a sheet pan that is parchment lined. You'll also want something to grease that paper with. Right here we have some sprayed ghee or some spray ghee and something to spread that around with. Sometimes you can use your fingers, but in this case I'll just use this. You'll want to go ahead and you'll want to put this into a preheated oven at 400 degrees. So we've already started that where we're preheating our oven. And so I'm just going to go ahead and start smooshing them all together. So we're going to take our cottage cheese right out of the container. We're just going to dump it all in. And so there's that. I'm going to go ahead and just plop the cheese in. And the eggs, I'm feeling a little frisky. So I'm just going to do it. Hopefully there won't be any shells in our lovely flatbread. I didn't see any go in, so I got lucky today. And then of course my herbs choice is usually herbs de Provence. I just like it. It's just a really good general light flavor. It's got marjoram in it, and thyme, rosemary, sage. This is 1 teaspoon. I'll put 1 in, and a little tiny bit for good measure. So maybe 1 1/4 teaspoon. Then we're going to go ahead and shove the lid on top, secure it tightly, give it a go, and then we're going to go ahead and blend until smooth and creamy looking. All right, so the next thing that we're going to go ahead and do is I've got about a 1/4 sheet pan here. I've gone ahead and lined it with some parchment paper. Parchment paper, not wax paper. Parchment. Need I say it again? Parchment paper. And now, yep, parchment. And I've gone ahead and I wet down the inside of it just a little bit between the paper and the pan just to make sure that the paper would stick to it a little bit, make it a little easier for me to show the next process. So I'm going to go ahead and spray some ghee. Doesn't have to be a lot, can be a little. I would recommend that you do spray down the parchment paper. You don't have to, but then you're going to want to make sure that you let your bread rest afterwards for a period of time for sure. And let it cool down all the way before you peel the paper off the bread, or you're going to have a lot of the parchment paper come off onto the bread itself. And I also do go up the sides. Helps prevent sticking just in case. Not that it necessarily would with parchment, but just in case. And then I'm going to go ahead and take our lovely mixture that we just blended up, and I'm just going to pour it. Now the wonderful thing about this 1/4 sheet pan, it is the perfect shape and size. So we're going to go ahead and just start on one side. Some of the other videos that I have seen, it kind of Looks like oblong in shape, very rustic. I'm not that kind of girl. I happen to like lines. I like straight lines. So I made it so that this recipe will cover an entire quarter sheet cake pan, or sheet pan, lack of a better term, perfectly. So that way I have a perfectly rectangular piece. Doesn't look like it now? Well, just wait. Just wait. So we're going to want to move it all around. And you want to tap it. Get some of those air bubbles out of there. And just for the sake of sound, I have a towel underneath. You can do it directly on the counter. I prefer not to. But then see, you've got this beautiful, beautiful, perfectly rectangular shaped flatbread. It's beautiful. You can go ahead and add salt to this if you'd like, which I think I'm going to go ahead and do since there's no salt in my herbes de Provence, just so that I can add a little extra flavor. Hopefully it won't be too terribly salty after that. And then we're going to go ahead and take this into our already preheated 400-degree oven. And we're going to put it in there for 40 minutes, 40. All right. 40 minutes from now, we should have the most beautiful flatbread you've ever seen. Okay, we waited the allotted 40-minute time and it looks absolutely beautiful. We've pulled it out of the oven and set it on a cooling rack to cool for approximately 10 to 15 minutes. Now we're going to go ahead and peel that bread off of the wonderful parchment paper that I told you. Remember, parchment, not wax paper, parchment. And we're going to go ahead and separate this right now. And if you have a look at the bottom side of that, oh, look at her. And she's malleable too. So the wonderful thing, she's a little rough around the edges. She's a little bit dry, but that's okay. I don't mind the crispies. So we're going to go ahead and plop this sucker down on a cutting board. And we're going to go ahead and cut it. Handy dandy bicycle cutter. And we're just going to go ahead and start cutting this flatbread up. Nice and thin. Can't cut evenly to save my life, but that's all right. There we go. There we go. So we've gotten these big pieces. I'm going to go ahead and cut them again in half. And you can cut them in any size or shape you want, as many or little. You can even tear it if you'd like, make it kind of like a naan bread. And then we'll go ahead and give this a try.
All right, so now we're going to try this amazing bread and let you know how it tastes.
All right, there you go. Cheers. That's good.
Delicious.
It doesn't really taste eggy or cheesy.
Just has a nice, flavorful
punch
spicy,
to it.
A little punch, yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's nice and thin. And it's
thin. Can you make it thick?
Yes, you can make it thick. It'll just take a little bit longer. You'll want to really watch for that. Probably maybe 45 or 50 more minutes. Well, 5 or 10 more minutes, so maybe a total of 50. But yeah, and it's got the consistency of bread.
Yeah, you can dress it up with anything. You can put some meat slices on it. You can put eggs in the morning. You can spread some of the Carnivore mayo on it. Whatever else Shannon can come up with.
Salads, you can do chicken salad, tuna salad, and it's malleable and pliable, so you can like turn it into rolls. So I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with the pinwheels, but you can make it into like those pinwheels. So you just roll it all up with the meats and the cheeses as well as the cream cheese, and there you go.
That'd be a perfect hors d'oeuvre for like a party or...
Yeah, it'd be a good canapé. Good canapé. That'd be awesome. Not bad.
Beautiful.
Okay.
All right, guys. Well, join us next time when Shannon makes... Wait, what are you making next time?
Next time, I'm going to make a salad. I'm going to do a nice, I think a shrimp salad.
So join us next time when Shannon makes the shrimp salad that's actually going to go on this amazing bread. I'm Dr. Victoria Munoz. This is Shannon, and we'll see you next time. Well, sometimes you just want something to put those carnivore ingredients on, such as your meat, your cheeses, or maybe a nice salad. And but the problem is carnivores don't eat brain.
We don't eat brains. We don't eat brains. What we do eat is bread. Carnivore bread.
Take two.
Okay, so we've gone ahead and we've pulled out.
Say it again.
We pulled out. We pulled out. That's what she said. No, that's what he said.
This is a PG video. This isn't your OnlyFans, Shannon.
Nobody would watch anyway. I'm too nutty.